Welcome back to Second Take. What is this, episode 8?
Episode eight.
I'm Jillian Kushner. You already knew that. That's Armand Sadler. We have a lot of random stuff to talk to y'all about today. Just like the last few weeks, it's been trade crazy in the NFL. So let's talk about this. Last week we talked about Jared Allen possibly signing with the Seahawks. That's a no-go. He signed a 4-year, $32 million deal with the Bears, which is a huge pickup for the Bears. I mean, insane. Here's a big one. I'm upset about it. The Eagles decided to release Mike Vick, and he was traded to the Jets. He signed a 1-year, $5 million deal. Adding on to that, the Jets cut Mark Sanchez, and then Mark Sanchez signed with the Eagles for a 1-year, up to $4 million deal. They did a little swap there. Again, another Eagles thing. Y'all know this is hard for me. DeSean Jackson was released by the Eagles today. Prior to this, there had been rumors. Chip Kelly said, we're always going to do what's best for the team. Mike Vick was like, let what happens, happens. He said that to DeSean Jackson personally. And then today, no, they released him. 6 teams have already tried to contact his agent, trying to get with him. And the rumors of what happened was that there was a gang affiliation with DeSean Jackson. And I have pulled up his statement that he released. He said, first, I would like to thank the Eagles organization and the Eagles fans and the city of Philadelphia for my time in Philly. I would also like to thank Coach Andy Reid for bringing me in. Secondly, I would like to address the misleading and unfounded reports that my release has anything to do with any affiliation that has been speculated surrounding the company I keep off the field. I would like to make it very clear that I am not and never have been any part of a gang. I am not a gang member, and to speculate and assume that I am involved in such activity off the field is reckless and irresponsible. I work very hard on and off the field, and I'm a good person with good values. I am proud of the accomplishments I have made both on and off the field. I have worked tirelessly to give back to my community and have a positive impact on those in need. It is just unfortunate that I now have to defend myself and my intentions. These reports are irresponsible and just not true. I look forward to working for my new team. This was a really interesting release because the Eagles, as an organization, said that there was something with him on and off, with his off-field actions. The company he keeps is what they said. Huge loss for the Eagles. They, in the mock draft, they're the 22nd pick, and they have Odell Beckham out of LSU, so that's a receiver they could pick up. Reports from Adam Schefter said that the Eagles were kind of obviously plotting this because the Eagles re-signed Jeremy Maclin and Riley Cooper before free agency, and they picked up Sproles, like they were trying to replace DeSean Jackson. So a lot going on in the Eagles franchise right now.
Yes, the Eagles are definitely making a lot of interesting moves. I personally feel that DeSean Jackson is one of the best receivers in the NFL right now. I personally would have never gotten rid of a player like him. He can beat you in so many different ways. He can blow by you, he can juke you, he can catch really well. The only logical thing I can think of, along with this gang speculation, is that the Eagles want change. Jackson had an amazing season last season, the best of his career with 82 receptions and 1,332 yards. The most amount of games he's missed was 5, so he's always around for them. But the Eagles are projected to do really well every season, and every season they disappoint. And they're making changes in releasing Michael Vick and putting the team in Nick Foles' hands. So I understand it. I mean, DeSean Jackson's great. I would have never released him, but Foles has other weapons in Riley Cooper, Brent Selleck, Jeremy Maclin, LaShawn McCoy, newly added Darren Sproles. So I don't think that the Eagles will be too hurt by this. I know DeSean Jackson will be great on whatever team he goes to. It's really unfortunate that the speculation is that it had to do with gang problems and it wasn't his conduct or his lack of playing well, because obviously he played really well. So I really do hope for the best for DeSean Jackson.
I mean, as an Eagles fan, I was crushed. I was hoping this wouldn't happen, and then we pick up Mark Sanchez. I don't even need to touch on it. Everybody knows. Butt fumble, he's infamous. No one wants Mark Sanchez. Sorry, Mark. But DeSean Jackson is an amazing receiver, and I think the only other receiver that is eligible, like in the draft, that could compare to DeSean Jackson's skill would be Sammy Watkins. But he's a top 5 pick, so there's no way the Eagles could get him. And it's a hard shoe to fill. Like, DeSean Jackson's incredible. As you said, he's going to make any team very happy. I think some places that should be looking for him is the Minnesota Vikings. They could use a good receiver like him, a good return man too. Whereas, I mean, we've talked about the teams that just aren't as great. You know, the Raiders like to pick up just about everybody. So we can add the Raiders. The Raiders also signed a little deal with Maurice Jones-Drew. Big pickup for them, as we've talked about. The Raiders are talking business. They're picking up anybody and everybody.
Yes, the Raiders have made great moves. I didn't even know about the Maurice Jones-Drew move till just now, so that's shocking to me. The Raiders just made another power move in picking up Matt Schaub, and I really like this move because Matt Schaub is a veteran, he's a leader, and the Raiders haven't had a solid quarterback, in my opinion, since Rich Gannon in 2003 when they went to the Super Bowl and got destroyed by the Buccaneers. And Matt Schaub is consistent in that he was with the Texans when they were the laughingstock of the AFC South, getting stomped by the Indianapolis Colts, to when they were back-to-back AFC South champions and they were just an elite team. So I know Matt Schaub can get the job done. Terrell Pryor, in my opinion, was not the guy. Matt Flynn was talented. He's not the guy either. So I think that the Raiders are doing great things. And every week when I insult them, they come back with a great move. And there's not that much that I can say about them anymore. Like, the Raiders are really looking to make huge improvements. And I'm predicting right now a 7-9 or an 8-8 record, and the Raiders might sneak into the playoffs. I don't.
I'm saying the Raiders are going to make the playoffs. What I'm hoping is that this is not just like typical Raiders. As I've said many times, they always get the best draft picks, and they never go anywhere. So I really hope they can build something around this. The trade that you talked about was that the Texans actually signed quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick to a 2-year deal, and then the Raiders decided to make a trade for a 6th-round draft pick in this draft to Houston for exchange for Matt Schaub. So they picked him up. They got him now. Another interesting move, as I know you love Peyton Manning, so you like the Broncos, that no Sean Moreno was released, and he signed to the Dolphins for a 1-year deal. This kind of just makes a statement that the Broncos have faith in Monty Ball. They're putting all their cards on him. You know, they're putting faith on him. And the interesting thing about the Matt Schaub trade actually is that the Cleveland Browns were expressing interest in Schaub, but the Raiders expressed more interest. And we already discussed that Cleveland literally got rid of every quarterback they have. So I know that they were in the hunt for one. And sorry, Matt Schaub is off table, as he is now an Oakland Raider.
Yes, I definitely want to talk about the Cleveland Browns. First of all, they need to be showing interest in every quarterback in the NFL. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers. They need to be showing interest in everyone, because the fact they got rid of Brandon Weeden and Jason Wallace makes no sense to me. Honestly, I don't know why they got rid of Colt McCoy to begin with. I know that you'd like to hear that as a Longhorn.
I love that.
I really don't understand what they're doing. So they need to be looking in the draft for a quarterback. I don't know if they'll be able to land Manziel or Bridgewater or even Bortles, so McCarron's a possibility, but I don't understand what the Browns franchise is doing.
It's funny that you brought Johnny Manziel first, because in the newest projected mock draft, Blake Bortles is the #1 pick.
Wow.
Interesting. We'll get back to that in a second, though. I have some more minor things to announce. Steelers announced a 2-year deal with Lance Moore, the former Saint wide receiver. Also, we discussed Vince Wilfork was trying to leave the Patriots. That was a no-go. They re-signed him. Supposedly, he didn't want to move his family to another city. So whatever was happening there, I guess they worked it out. Unfortunate news. Sorry, I always have to announce it. Ravens running back Ray Rice indicted on 1 count of aggravated assault, which is a 3 to 5 year prison term. We don't know what's going to happen with that one. Also, former quarterback Jim Kelly is battling cancer to undergo surgery, chemotherapy treatment, all of that in the next few weeks. And the Bills announced that Ralph Wilson passed away, the legendary owner. Condolences to all of them.
Yes.
And fun fact that I found this week, it was that Forbes listed the Yankees at a value of $2.5 billion, the most valuable team in any American sport. Wow.
That's just the way it is. The Yankees are money. That's our strategy. That's how we find success. We have the most money, so we pick up big name players. But interestingly enough, the Dodgers next year will actually have a higher salary cap than the Yankees will. So they'll actually be paying players the most money, and they actually have the most money as well. So
they need to, because they're trying to do anything to keep Yasiel Puig on their team. Because
yes.
if they didn't have that salary cap, he would be a Yankee tomorrow.
Yep.
Which we would love. Some more news. South Florida, weird little story. South Florida basketball revoked their offer to the new coach Masiello after finding out he lied about graduating from Kentucky. Bizarre. And we had some pro days this week at some colleges. There was a annoying focus on Johnny Manziel. I checked Twitter, and it was Johnny Manziel drinks water, Johnny Manziel stretches, Johnny Manziel on the field, Johnny Manziel's wearing shoulder pads. I'm so proud of you, Johnny, because you wore shoulder pads.
Oh,
my boy Ron Jaworski said on ESPN, I personally wouldn't take Johnny Manziel in the first 3 rounds. He's a project. That's what I'm talking about. I completely agree with this. As I just said, Blake Bortles is now the top quarterback in the draft, and he was even pushed to the #1 pick ahead of Jadeveon Clowney.
Wow.
The interesting thing about this is we discussed with that #1 pick, you know, Texans need a quarterback. So they were looking at Manziel. They don't want him anymore. Getting Blake Bortles would be smart. He's a great quarterback. He proved that the last few weeks, definitely during the season. Again, weird stuff's happening. A lot of people were bragging about Johnny Manziel's pro day. He had some great passes to Mike Evans. I'll give him credit where credit is due. However, he still isn't the answer for most teams, and I still keep him in a late. I mean, I agree with Ron Jaworski, as I wouldn't take him in the first 3 rounds. I probably wouldn't even take him, but that's me. Regardless, we all know he's going to get drafted in the first round. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. This could, again, be a situation where we all get shocked. You never know what's going to happen on draft day. He'll probably end up going in the first round. Some team's going to end up picking him up. As far as waiting for the first 3 rounds, I don't see that happening.
It's not going to happen. Johnny Manziel is a top prospect. He was one of the best quarterbacks, if not the best, in college football last season. So he's going to go early. I don't really understand what Ron Jaworski's saying. I mean, Manziel was very successful in college, as we've discussed on numerous occasions. Ron Jaworski must have some other issues, maybe with his attitude, his personality. Maybe he doesn't think Manziel can lead a team. I think he can, but that's just me. So, I mean, we'll see. Realistically, Manziel's going to go in the first round.
I think Manziel would be smarter as a running back position rather than a quarterback. Ooh. And as far as the best quarterback in college football last year, I think you're forgetting about a little man named Jameis Winston, Mr. Heisman winner, Mr. Jameis Winston, the 2-sport athlete. Actually, he got in a little brawl the other day. I don't know if you've heard about that. He's now playing for FSU baseball, and there was a huge fight in one of their games where both teams cleared the benches. And, of course, the only reason we know about this is because Jameis Winston was the front man in this little brawl. So, again, Johnny Manziel, I'm with my boy Ron Jaworski. I like that. So let's go to something we might agree on. Kevin Durant. He has scored 25-plus points in 36 straight games. Magic Johnson quoted saying, the MVP race is definitely over. Kevin Durant is the MVP of the NBA.
Yes. I have said all I need to say about Kevin Durant. He's clearly my favorite player. I clearly believe he's having the best season of anyone in the NBA right now. He's my MVP. In my opinion, he has the award already, as Magic Johnson said. I just can't wait to see what OKC does in the playoffs with the new way they're playing, the way the team is playing together, the way that Miami's looking with the loss to the Pacers that we're going to discuss in a few. I don't know. The Pacers might be playing the Thunder in the finals. I really don't know. But I'm loving what I'm seeing from Kevin Durant.
I mean, he's having a great season. He's definitely the MVP in my heart. I got you, Kevin. Hook him. But, again, you know, we also have to look at a team that's not doing as well. The 76ers now are on a 27-game losing streak. I think that's tied for the NBA most. Not too hot, guys. Not too hot. They recently lost the Rockets, making that streak even better. But as we've talked about, as you mentioned, the Pacers-Heat game, I was glad I got to catch that one. That was a dirty game, I'm not going to lie. A lot of roughhousing. We know the Pacers and the Heat have a weird relationship. It was kind of assumed that last year LeBron James didn't really take them seriously, didn't really see them as an actual contender for the championship, and that showed. So he lacked respect for them as they saw it. So that came out during this game. This game went down to the last second. We got an ejection. You know, Lance Stevenson got ejected. Who else? Roy Hibbert got a little injured. got smacked in the face by LeBron James. There was a lot of stuff going on.
Yes.
A lot of weird fouls, a lot of missed calls. Notably, Mario Chalmers kept on trying to call for fouls that just weren't there. It was a weird game. It was a great game, though.
Yes, the Pacers and the Heat are literally heating up. Their rivalry is getting crazier and crazier every time they play. I know they're going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals against each other. I know it's going to 7 games. I know it's going to be intense, and I believe that the Pacers are going to come out on the winning end and finally stop this Miami dynasty that has been destroying the NBA for the past couple seasons. So
I mean, the Pacers played amazing, and you could tell the rivalry was getting to their heads because towards the end of the game, I think there was about 2 seconds left. George Hill was making free throw shots. I believe he's like an 80% free throw shooter. Great free throw shooter. Missed both shots, which put the Pacers in a compromising position. Luckily for them, he didn't make that 3 to win the game. But you could tell this was a game that was getting to everybody on that court, and they are playing their hearts out, and the Pacers are making a statement.
Yes.
They're the real deal. All right, we got some more basketball for y'all. In the past week, I got some notable upsets in the NCAA tournament. 10 Stanford beat 7 seed New Mexico. Stanford's been making a statement.
Yes.
And then 11 Tennessee beat 6 seed Massachusetts. Dayton. 11th seed Dayton beat 3rd seed Syracuse.
Ooh,
I know this guy wants to talk about that.
Please let me discuss this. Syracuse, you had a great season. I'm as much as I hate on Syracuse, Tyler Ennis played an amazing game against Dayton. Syracuse had a great season despite the losses that I harped on, and I got on them for it because I'm one of Syracuse's toughest critics. But Dayton is looking great in this tournament. They defeated Ohio State to kick it off. They defeated Syracuse. Last night they defeated Stanford. They have a really tough game coming up against Florida, and unfortunately I don't think that they can win it, but they're going to play Florida very well, and I'm so impressed with what they're doing. And Tyler Ennis is going to the NBA, so I wish the best for him. He's entering the draft. I know their team's looking for players. The 76ers are looking for a player like Tyler Ennis. They need a player like Tyler Ennis, so he's going to be successful. Syracuse, again, congratulations, but Dayton, nice.
Dayton is talking money, and if you don't want to talk, they don't care. Some more upsets to talk about. 7th seed Connecticut beat 2nd seed Villanova. 10th seed Stanford beat 2nd seed Kansas. It was a close one. It was 60-57. I'm upset about that because I just figured out that I had Kansas in my national championship. Crying about it. 8th seed Kentucky beat number 1 seed Wichita State. It was a close one, 78-76. I know Armand's upset about that. He had all the faith in Wichita State.
Yeah. Yes, I want to talk about this one as well. Wichita State, you guys had an amazing season. 35, 36 straight wins. 35, I believe. That's incredible. People get on you for playing mediocre teams, but you don't see Miami with the team they have going 82-0. They'll lose to the Wizards. They'll lose to bad teams. So the fact that you can play bad teams and consistently win, so proud of what Wichita State did. A tough loss, but it's all right. You guys did an amazing thing this season. So
again, it doesn't matter who they play. Wins are wins, and they made a statement. Yes, okay, if you beat 5 bad teams, whoop-de-doo. But they went 35-0. That's insanely impressive, especially in the tournament. Hats off to them. Great season.
Yes.
Some more upsets. Another big one. 6th seed Baylor beat 3rd seed Creighton. This was a rout. It was 85-55.
Goodness, that's for teams with such close seeds like that to there be a 30-point deficit and a 30-point loss. That's crazy. Like you really don't know what will happen in the tournament. A team like that can just come and totally rout a good team and shock them. So
I mean, that's what happens. You know, Baylor, Big 12. We're about that. And then, as you discussed, 11th seed Baylor 11th seed Dayton beat 10th seed Stanford, and the number 1 seeds Florida and Arizona played last night. They're continuing on to Elite 8, as is 2nd seed Wisconsin. We got some more games tonight. We got Michigan playing tonight. So I wanted us to discuss, since both of our brackets are basically shot, as is everyone else in the world, nobody has their bracket right this year. That's how crazy it is. So no $1 billion for any of us. Anyways, we wanted to, pick out who we think is going to be in the Final Four in the championship. I still have Michigan winning it all. I stick by that. However, my Final Four was a little bit messed up because I did have Kansas in there. So, Armand, what do you have to say?
Well, in my finals, I see Florida and Michigan playing each other. Honestly, I can't give a Final Four. I just really don't know what's going to happen, and I hate the fact that I'm not certain in one specific decision, but I do know that it's going to be Florida versus Michigan. It's going to be a great national championship game, and Florida is going to come out on the winning end.
You know, I could agree with the Florida-Michigan championship. I think I had Florida losing to Kansas. Clearly, that's not going to happen as Kansas is way out of there. Yep. But I definitely see that as a national championship. But I see Michigan. You know, they mean business. They are playing well, but we don't even know what could happen. You know, Michigan could lose tonight. We could see Dayton in the national championship. You don't know what they're about. I had Dayton losing first round, I believe. I gave them no credit.
Yep.
I mean, they came in serious. They came in guns blazing, and they are ready to play. It's been a crazy tournament.
UConn and Iowa State. I see UConn taking that one. We got Kentucky versus Louisville. I have Kentucky taking that one. And UVA versus Michigan State. I see Michigan State taking that one.
See, I had UVA going. I'm pretty sure in my bracket they went to the Final Four. I don't even know how that happened, but we don't even know what's going to happen.
Nope, not at all.
They don't know what's going to happen.
Nope.
It's been a crazy week. Also, we want to discuss where we think the main quarterbacks in the NFL draft are going to go. We're looking at Teddy Bridgewater, Mr. Manziel, and we're looking at Blake Bortles. And I wanted to include A.J. McCarron, even though he's projected to be a fourth-round pick. I still think he's important for people to look at. He could easily go in the first round. You never know.
Yes. Yeah, I want to first start off with Blake Bortles and Johnny Manziel, Teddy Bridgewater. I want to start off with Blake Bortles, though, because as you said, he's moved up in the mock draft as the top pick, and I don't agree with that. I don't think that Blake Bortles is going to make an immediate impact in the NFL like Teddy Bridgewater and Johnny Manziel are. I think the Texans, they don't want Manziel, that's fine. I think they'll be smart in going with Bridgewater. I think Bortles needs to sit under a good quarterback for a while. The Saints have Drew Brees. He's getting old. He probably has 2 to 3 good seasons left in him. I say if they can somehow get Blake Bortles and have him sit behind Drew Brees and then take over that team, that would be a smart move. Johnny Manziel, I guess, could go to the Jaguars. They have Justin Blackmon, good receiver. They lost Maurice Jones-Drew, so they're lacking in offense right now. I think that Johnny Manziel would improve their offense, and then they would definitely need to bring in players to build upon that because, as we've discussed multiple times, Jaguars are not a good team. A.J. McCarron, I could see him fitting on the Dolphins, I guess. I don't really think Ryan Tannehill is all that great of a quarterback. Clearly not, as the Dolphins haven't done much the past few seasons. So A.J. McCarron was a successful quarterback in college football. I think that that'll translate to the NFL for him personally. So Miami Dolphins, try him out.
I'm trying to pick these without thinking of the draft in mind, not thinking of that draft order, because I'm saying that this is best case scenario, and I think you're doing the same because you brought up the Saints for, who was it, Bortles? Yeah, and we know the Saints have a later draft pick. But I think a really good place for Blake Bortles, he is a great quarterback, but he does need some mentoring. I would never just throw him out there and be like, have some fun. As far as the Saints, I would see him better maybe on a team like the Patriots behind Tom Brady, letting that mend a little bit. You know, Tom Brady, just the same. His career could be coming to a close. Blake Bortles could really fit in on any team except for the teams that are their known quarterbacks. Texans, easy. Ryan Fitzpatrick is probably not the answer. Blake Bortles definitely could be. Johnny Manziel, can I say his best team fit would be a trash can or no?
I would prefer you not. You know, let's
okay, go. Where do I put little Johnny boy? I would put Johnny. I would just kind of throw him to a team that no one cares about. So maybe the Jaguars.
Okay, cool.
At least throw him down there. See you never. Teddy Bridgewater, great quarterback. Since he likes to run, he does the run a lot. He's one of those mobile quarterbacks. He needs to be on a team that is not as dependent on their running backs. Therefore, that would rule out the Vikings, the Chiefs, probably the Saints as well. They like their running game. Probably the Patriots. You could stick him on the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns need some restructuring. I could see that being a fit for him. Definitely nowhere Seahawks, no. Broncos, no. Definitely none of those places. So I could see the Browns for him. As far as A.J. McCarron, I truly see his best fit being on the Minnesota Vikings. And I believe that would be perfect for him. He knows how to work with great running backs, as he did while in his tenure at Alabama. He worked with some of the best running backs to go through college football. And he knows how to win. He's very... People don't really give him credit for all the wins he had. What does he have, like 2 national championships?
Yes.
I'm sorry, you have bragging rights. You are clearly good if you've led your team to 2 national championships. Back to back. Even better. But I don't understand why he's projected to be such a late-round pick. I guess because he's not one of those it's-all-about-me quarterbacks. He really works as a team. I think that would be perfect for the Vikings. I think Adrian Peterson needs a quarterback like that who's okay handing it off, but he can also throw it downfield. As I said, if the Vikings picked up DeSean Jackson, I can create a little good team over there. But I could see those some good places for those quarterbacks.
Yeah, there's also one more quarterback I want to talk about being at an Ivy League school, Cornell. We have Jeff Matthews, who's been attending some combines, had his pro day. I think he's great. He broke a lot of Ivy League records. He's a talented guy, 4-year starter. I think that he'll most likely go undrafted, but I definitely think that a team should pick him up. The Minnesota Vikings would be a nice place if they don't pick up A.J. McCarron. Matt Castle's not the guy. Jeff Matthews is accurate. He knows how to work with great receivers. We had some pretty talented receivers up here at Cornell with Luke Hagee, and I think Jeff Matthews should definitely go to a team as well. That's just my personal Cornell input, of course, though.
Okay. Well, if we want my personal Texas input, we had a big pro day. We take that very seriously down here. We had Jackson Jeffcoat, the defensive end. He'll probably get drafted. I'd be surprised if he didn't. He'll get in one of the rounds. Mike Davis, our wide receiver, he's great. He could be a good fit for the Minnesota Vikings. If I'm saying they need a receiver, he's very DeSean Jackson-like, very, very full of himself. Sorry, Mike Davis. But he gets the job done. He is fast. He can catch everything. He stands for any pass. He's a very versatile player. I think he'd fit great on the Minnesota Vikings. Trying to think who else we had at Pro Day. Those are really the big names. Those are the ones that are kind of looking into the draft. But, Pro Day, anything can happen. I actually read a stat. Adam Schefter retweeted this thing that explained about valuing your college education to football players, because it ended up being, of all the college football players, 1.6% of them goes to the NFL.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that's a crazy stat to see.
Yeah, that's one thing I feel that that's not instilled in high school football players and college football players, that not everyone who's good in high school is going to be good in college or even get to play in college, and definitely not everyone who's good in college gets to play in the NFL. So academics should definitely be taken a lot more seriously for college football players. A lot of them take these really easy majors and slack off in class, and understand that it's hard with a busy schedule being a varsity athlete, but unfortunately not everyone makes it to the NFL, so you have to have something to fall back on. So I think
it's crazy. To put it into perspective, I just pulled up the stat. It's the amount of NCAA seniors playing football each year is roughly 15,500, and then the amount of players scouted by the NFL is 6,500. The amount of players invited to the combine is 350. The players drafted are 256. The rookie players making an NFL team are 300. The NFL players reaching year 4 is 150.
Wow.
I mean, it's crazy. So I thought that was really interesting. I really wanted to share that. And the most interesting part about it was that Adam Schefter shared it. And, we all know Adam Schefter is really well known around the league, and his input, I think, is very valued. And so that was a little interesting fact I wanted to share.
Yep, definitely.
All right, guys, I think we've wrapped it all up. We're going to have a lot more college basketball for y'all next week. We got all those games tonight. So we got the Elite Eights coming up. We got the Final Four coming up, and then we got the championship. Who's going to be in it? It's going to be Florida and Michigan. It's going to be Dayton and someone else. We don't even know.
Yes, definitely a lot of NCAA basketball to talk about in the next week. Definitely more NFL trades and more NFL signings. MLB is heating up. We got opening day coming up very soon. Very excited about that. Can't wait to talk some baseball. Thank you guys for joining us again in episode 8 of Second Take. We are going on to our second month. Really excited. Glad you guys have been with us for this long and can't wait to give you more shows. So thank you and have a great afternoon.